one. Well, just got on back online. I was without internet for like 2 days. We've been having a lot of rain, a lot of storms and stuff, which is fine, because I believe that nature should do what nature do. We're here, just like every creature is here. We belong here. This is our home. I just want to talk a little bit about everything. But it felt so good. I just thought about good stuff. I try to stay positive and think about the good stuff that's happening, which it's hard to find. It's hard to find good news. It's hard to find a good book, a pleasant, happy book. I know life is not all roses. No, it's not. But the problem is when people want to put their anger on other people. Just like I read not too far from me, 3 people dead, young people. It's crazy, young. Um, a double murder suicide. uh, what? I was like, what? And then I find out that it was a 23-year-old that did the shooting, killed his 21-year-old girlfriend, is it ex-girlfriend or ex-wife? Ex-wife, it may be ex-girlfriend, I'm not sure, but I believe it was an ex-wife. Why is they married that early? I don't know. Uh, Hello, hi, glad that you joined me. Uh, and a guy that was there. It could have been a friend, could have been her boyfriend, anything. And you have to wonder, why are these people so mad that they want to kill you and then kill themselves? There's no way you could be that young and be that mad. So, what can we do? Life is so precious. I like your haircut. Oh, thank you. Happy birthday. Okay. Um, because we are really we're doing too much. We're doing too much to our young kids. They learning too much too fast. I heard on the radio that they are starting to let the gardeners play more in class instead of trying to teach them, because they said that they didn't really have time to play because there was too much teaching kindergartners, 5-year olds. I'm like, a lot of us, our kids is grown. So we don't know what's really going on with these kids in the school, but we really need to start paying more attention because there's no way in the world kindergartners should have been made to learn, and that's not 5-year olds are still babies. I mean, it's really a shame that kids have to go to daycare. Some of them start daycare. I think they have to be 6 months, maybe younger than that, and then preschool, which is fine because you realize that a lot of kids would not get the education that they need if they didn't go to preschool because we have parents that don't have the capacity or the time to teach their kids. So, but I'm glad that they passed that amendment that the kindergartners should be playing more. Okay, and talking about school kids, I seen that when Trump went to those colleges and did that commencement speech or something, and instead, I don't know, I only heard this much. I don't know what else he said, but I thought it was a shame that these kids were, why are you so orange? Oh, I think it's this. Yeah, I think it's this makeup. I mean that light. I'm not trying to look orange, okay? Uh, yeah, yeah, this light. Okay. Um. Uh. I thought it was a pitiful shame that these young ones was made to clap when he was talking about immigrants being shipped off to another country and clapping for um, not following the laws. I mean, I thought that was pitiful. What we're gonna have to stop letting these kind of people teach our kids. You know what I mean? I mean, really, because our kids have to stop being so confused. Because you teaching these kids education, you teaching these kids religion, you teaching them uh, you teaching them everything but what they should know. And they should know how to love themselves and love others and love their country. It's hard to love a country that literally tells you that you're not worth nothing. And our kids are precious, and we need to treat them like they're precious. Yep. But I want to start talking to our young ones about being brand new. Because when you're brand new, you treat yourself better. You don't let all this nonsense disturb you. You know how many people in this world is literally depressed and so pessimistic, have such a dim outlook on life. And then on top of that, you have people in leadership role that is always on the TV, the news, and people's conversation that's making you feel even worse. No telling how many people out here in this world is so scared to leave their home or even be in their home. I thought that was so sad what happened to uh, that woman and her kids. Then that ice came into their home and just made them feel so bad. What kind of people? How do you get a job like that? Oh, these on my forehead. Oh, they are gems. I put them on there individually. Um. Ah. Yeah. What is that on your forehead? Ah. Mm. Why you? I'm really confused. Oh boy, it is definitely not the time to be confused. Um. Like I previously said, we have to start reading more. It's going to be hard. It's really going to be hard. Because I realized when I didn't have any internet and I wasn't able to get on the TV, I was really, I felt that, I felt, what, what was it? That I was missing something. That I had to hear someone talking about the news. And what I'm beginning to find out, and well, I've been new, but I'm going to have to stop listening to cable news. Because cable news tells you what they want you to know. We have to find out what we need to know. And stop, and I really want to stop um, living in the past. Or hearing in the past, hearing about the past. The past is not going to help us. There's nothing wrong with, thinking about the past because of something pleasant and something that made you feel better or something that you learned from the past. But other than that, because it's just a continuation of what's happening now. Because I've been listening to this history book. Let me see if I could. Um, and I'm like, oh wow. I mean, it's some parts be sounding like what's really going on right now. Have you ever asked yourself, would it be so bad to live under a communist rule? Because it's starting to feel like we kind of living like that. How many people have been killed because of their belief, because of what they said? It's not the same thing that happened in this Jesus day when they put all those Christians to death because they didn't want to live the Crusades and all this. You could literally be killed, or even when the Pope and all that was getting people killed because they didn't believe what they believed, literally burning them by the stake. You still all these years, you still could not really say what you wanted to say or live the way you wanted to live without somebody getting upset and want to take you out. Really, seriously. So the only difference is you don't have to put up with all this hate speech. They won't be able to go around with the Nazis because see, it's going to affect everybody. You don't have all that in the communist countries. Nazis running around with their flags or these Confederate flags. Only over here. And it's all due to the education system. The education system and the entertainment industry. The four factors is religion, entertainment, advertisement, and now the media. I am reading this book, A People's History of the United States. I recommend it. And see, and I'm gonna tell it like it is. As long as you have old white people, European people running stuff we're going to always be in a state of confusion. Okay. Now, it was white people that gave us the Constitution, right? Now it's the white people that is trying to chop it off, take it away, or disembowel it, and all that stuff. And really, they really haven't really been implementing the Constitution to everybody. Anyway, so what we have to do, the only hope for us is to raise up children that can take over. Because it's mighty strange that they doing all this stuff and they act like none of this stuff is going to affect them too. So why is they doing it? Because we are looking at people that are living out their fantasies. They are living this mystical world. They want to bring about this mystical world. And they're sadistic. A lot of them are sadistic. They go to sleep. I'm telling you, they go to sleep thinking about the pain and suffering of people that don't look like them. Because in this country, we've always had rich people. It's always been it's been there, but they've never tried to run for president. The oligarchies, they didn't try to rule the world because they didn't need to. They was more about improving, and then these ones too that back in the early years, when industrialization was coming around, you didn't hear about them. A lot of them, I'm sure it was some, but you didn't hear about them bankruptcies and to see they didn't have time for that. A lot of them really cared about this country and wanted to be better because a lot of them did good things. They did a lot of helping people less than them. But why do the rich want to continue to be rich, to get richer? Because if they don't, they won't feel better. They won't feel different. And they all about, and they have been indoctrinated by parents and their parents that they are special. And we are peasants. They don't look at the world as whole. And I've noticed that a lot of our kids, they care about, it's all right to own a business, to run a business or two, and have money and have nice stuff. Yeah, that's fine. Do that. But it's other more important things. Um, Loving your family, like a lot of them do, and Love your country. We don't have to have these people tell us to love this country. We should already love this country as we love the whole earth, because the earth is our home. We should want to take care of it. We should not want to destroy it or pollute it or make it um, look dirty and bad. Why do people throw trash out the window? Why you driving down the road, you just throw your trash out the window? Or I have seen people in the parking lot. It's like they just take their whole ashtray and dump all the. They think that, okay, somebody's going to pick it up. That's what the trash people's for. But until then, other people have to look at it, and it shows a little bit of who you are. Who are we? Uh, just like you have these so-called people that are paid to get on TV and tell us what we're gonna do, what we're gonna think, and what we should say. And we don't know nothing about these people. That's what's wrong with this country. You got all these people telling us what to do, what to say, what to think. Who are these people? I don't know you. You don't know me. I mean, really, seriously. It's just, uh, and we only know what they want us to know. And we're going to have to start acting brand new. We need a whole new, well, you're right. I love Trump and he loves you too. Um, yeah. Um, that's so strange that somebody would actually say that Trump loves me, but every time I turn around, he's taking away black people, white women. He wants them fired. He wants their history in the military taken away. He wants to deport. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. We live in a world where there is many people, many facets of organizations, political parties. We live in a world. I've always lived in a country where there was always two parties, Republican and Democrat. So whichever one is in office, that's what we had to deal with. Uh, they have never really been completely. You're not going to agree with none of them, but I have never. You know what? I really wasn't a political person. Okay. But I realized that, when you get a certain age, you realize that, hey, you know, you don't have another 60 years. But you look at your children and you see that what kind of life is they going to live? What kind of life is they going to have? You see that it's getting worse. Now they're trying to get rid of all the migrants, whether they here supposed to be here or don't supposed to be here. So who you think's gonna what they gonna do with the food? Who's gonna be picking the food and all that? So people have to realize this country had enslaved people before. And don't ever think that they can't do it again. And who was the enslaved people? Who was under the tyrannical government? And it's a shame that we have to wake up and hear so much bad stuff. I have never heard a president that is that much hated before in my life. And it's a shame. That you have to feel that way about somebody that you don't even know. I can't name one good thing that I could say about this man that they elected or they say elected as president. I can't say one good thing about him. And that's the first time. I could always find something good to say about every president, but I can't find one good thing to say. And we're not just here. We live here. This is our home. And we should count. We should not have to live under a government that is in place just to torture people. That all they care about is money and and getting rid of people. They're not just migrants. They are people that have feelings, that have home. That's the same way they treated the slaves back in the day, like they weren't nothing. And that's what they're doing now. And how can somebody ever fix their mouth to say that Trump loves anybody? His wife don't even love him. And really 90% of the country don't like him. Period. That you have to worry about if you don't act like you like him, you're gonna lose your job. They're when I heard that they was literally checking people's phone to see if they said anything bad about Trump or they weren't going to get in the country. I don't know if that is true or not, but that is the wildest thing I've ever heard. But they did literally say that they're going to kick people out because of what they might think and say in the future. That's why I said we are living under some people that are not in their right mind. We are living under people that have looked at too much Star Trek. And we don't know what they was learning in their schools because there's a lot of their schools be real private, okay? So we don't know what they was learning. But I know one thing, they trying to put the black people back in their place, which is the back of the bus in their minds. Because they think black people is getting too big headed. They had nerve to have a black president twice. And I think after that, it went buck wild. These people went buck wild. It's like, oh, hell no. This can't happen again. No, we got to put them back in their place. No. So, and then when they came out with this DEI, which I don't understand why we need a DEI when we already had um, discrimination and all this other stuff already in place. And see, when they came up with that, when I heard that, I'm like, oh, just like that, no child left behind. Every time they try to put something in place that is specifically to help black people or gays or handicapped people, it's somebody in the back trying to get rid of it. Just like when they start coming up with this woke, like woke. Now, it's something that black people have been saying for years. Now, all of a sudden, you got this woke coming out of all these white people's mouth. We got to get rid of woke. We can't have people thinking it's okay to be who they are and think they're going to come up in the world. No, you got to stay in your place. You got to stay in the back of the downtown. You can't be in front or in downtown. You got to be in the back of downtown. And some and we you have to really start getting out more, seeing what's really going on, especially in those backwoods and in those Appalachian mountains and back roads. I took the back way to Cleveland one time, and I was amazed. All the little towns that you ride by and go through, number white people. And they live, it's some places like that in Mississippi too. I've been through because I like to go the back way. You see so much. And it's land, it's beautiful. But the way they live, it's just amazing. Um, they have to go like 45 minutes to get to a Walmart, to a hospital, to the doctor. They still have dial-up internet. They have to go miles to get to a library. So what is they doing in the meantime? What are they doing for entertainment? How's they living? And see, that's what happened. They control them with that brainwashing. And they want the rest of the people to be just as illiterate and as they are. Because a lot of those leaders that's in leadership now came from places like that. So they know exactly what to do. And they want this country to be like that. The rich people and the peasants. They weren't lying when they said when some of those folks been saying peasants and all that other stuff. And we just sitting back letting it happen. We just sit back. That's all we do is sit back and watch the news and just shake our head. But you have a lot of people out there that's protesting, which we'll have to wait and see if it's doing any good, if it's helping. Because all the stuff that Trump done, he should have been impeached by now, but they feel like he's not going to be impeached. He got in office and with both houses, and now he done put all these people in. He's doing everything that they said he was going to do. And you know why people don't I'm even skeptical of the Democrats, because see, we need to stop really having these two tiers. Is not, it's just getting people totally confused. Because of the way they do things. They want to do things for the people that elected them. And then you have the other people that didn't elect them that have to put up with this for 4 years. And then you have to go through 2 years of them out there campaigning. And you have to hear all these lies. You have to hear all this stuff. How long can this go on? And then they have these books coming out. I'm just going to say, this is a people's history of the United States. You have to get it. You have to listen to it. A history of the United States. Why are they now trying to stop people from learning about the history of the United States? Because they don't want their kids to feel uncomfortable? If what's going on right now don't make them feel uncomfortable, nothing will. These kids are literally going to school and have to hear about another school being shot up. Don't forget about the 19 kids that was killed in Texas. If that don't make them feel uncomfortable, nothing will. I never heard of oh, that's crazy. But here's some books that's coming out. A Young People's History of the United States. We need to really start teaching our kids about history. And we should have all these pictures of history all over our house. It should be in their face every day. We do need to teach our kids how to live in a world that is vastly diverse. Okay? Because everybody on this planet deserves to live on this planet and treat everybody accordingly with respect and love. You know, we tell our kids all the time, I love you, but do you teach them to love others? We need to buy these books for our kids, and we need to read them. And here's another one, Manufacturing Consent. Wonder what that's about. Oh, Okay, in this path-breaking work now with a new introduction, Edward S. Herman and Nomi Chomsky show that contrary to the usual image of the news media as obstinate, ubiquitous, and cantankerous in their search for truth and defense of justice, in their actual practice, they defend the economic and social and political agendas of the privileged groups that dominate domestic society, the state, and the global order. This came out in 2017. Now, see, that's another thing. Until we start educating these rural people, they're always talking about, we need to give education back in the states. Yes. You see, a lot of the people that lives in the rural areas and stuff, their main focus and their life really is centered around God, the church, whatever religion they are, and yeah, they could put them on a leash real fast. And we need to start really educating our rural people more. Yeah, because they know what pictures to show when they're talking about certain things. And now we're seeing really how they manipulate stuff, just like how they could get you to feel a certain way about somebody, and then as soon as they get you to be thinking the way they want you to think, they can swoop in and take the person out, and you won't even feel bad about it. Because, see, for one thing, journalists are not journalists no more. Because they could ask a question and don't even get an answer. So what are we paying journalists for? Because just like now, he can get on his own social channel and say what he want to say. So what do we need journalists for? Because the media and YouTube and TV, they can get on there and say what they want to say. Journalists was really good when we didn't have television. We didn't have all these lines of communication. We really had to rely on what the journalists told us. But now that we have all these tools of information, we're not using it. So this book, Manufacturing Consent. Wow. Got to get it. I got to get this book. Okay, it's based on a series of case studies, including the media's dichotomous treatment of worthy versus unworthy victims, legitimizing and meaningless third world elections, and devastating critiques of media coverage of the U.S. wars against indoctrina. They draws on decades of criticism and research to propose a propaganda model to explain the media's behavior and performance. That is, oh, that is something. Wow. And here's another one. How Democrats, women, how democracies die. Two Harvard professors explain the dangerous world we face today. Democracies can die with a coup d'etat, or they can die slowly. So you have to wonder, what kind of world, what kind of country is this going to be in the 22nd century when our kids is in their 30s and 40s or in their 50s? Our grandkids are going to college. A lot of us, what is this country going to look like 100 years from now when all of us going to be dead, no longer here? We need to start thinking about that and stop worrying about the past, because right now we are in a point in this world that what we do right now is, because for one thing we got going for us, we have the means of destroying the world because of nuclear devices, and hate is worldwide, and we have a global system that is wreaking havoc on the whole world. Yes. And the only thing that we can do, NorCal, is keep love and peace in our lives. Nobody can take that away from us. And another thing that I have realized, I'm going to leave after this, but one thing that I have realized, that I may have to die to save my country, to save my family. Because I'm not going to change my mind. Because I know people before me have died the same way and died many ways. You have people now in their grave that died to keep fascism, communists out of this country. But we see right now that it's happening. It can happen. You had people that was literally dying to fight the Nazis. Now we have Nazis in the White House. So you're going to die anyway. So you might as well die doing something right that is going to make this world a better place. Not dying because somebody stepped on your shoes, or dying because somebody stole your watch. But hey, like I said, if you want to stay free, let's save America. Okay? Now, as far as make America great again, they put that in people's minds again. And you know what again is? What does again mean? Because this is what I tell people is, change your language. Don't let people put stuff in your mind. and have you repeat it over and over and over. Because you're not like that. That is not who you are. Because see, when people say let's make America great again, you think again, when was America great? And then they'll say, well, if you have to ask that question, then you'll never know. It's just a cliche, like America first. And it's never really been, America has been America. Better than the last party. And you said that before. It's always needs to be better. That's what we should be thriving at. But not kicking somebody down to make it better. Every individual has to make it better. Not just for themselves, but for the people around them. Now, I'm sure that when the white people came over here and did all those horrible things to the Indians, did they make it better? No. No, they did make it better. Look at the country we live in now. It's full of garbage, full of tall buildings, jails, prisons, courthouses, graveyards. Now, if they wouldn't have never came over here for at least another 300-400 years, can you imagine how beautiful this country would still be? People would be living in their own homes, gold floors, silver windows, because we didn't look at the world as just there to make them rich. Now, again, is another time and once more. So you have to look into your mind, when was America great? Was it when all this industrialization was going on and people was making millions of dollars on the back of people making $1 an hour, living in slums? Could be. Or could it be used to introduce a further point for consideration, supporting or contrasting with what has just been said? So I would always talk about see, when this country was fairly new, it had prisons, jails, courthouses, or lunatics, sane asylums, because people took care of each other. We ate regular natural foods, not processed foods. We cared about one another. But as soon as the Europeans start running stuff, they brought that to the whole world. The insane asylums, the prisons. You know, they've always been good at putting people in dungeons and putting people in jail and 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 torture and hanging and um, they even burn people alive. Through the torture people had to go through just because they wanted to live their lives the way they wanted to live them. And they threaten you with death. You're going to die anyway. And I feel like I'm going to die the way I live, the way I want to. Because I'm not I'm not going to believe something that you want me to believe. How can I believe something that you want me to believe? How do you make your mind to believe something that somebody else believes? That ain't believing. That's just trying to stay alive another minute. Because you can break down and confess to believe what they want you to believe and still die the next day. All you did was boost that other person's head. What people need to ask themselves, are they doing to make themselves successful and better than what they was before? Or are they going to sit there and blame other people for failures in their life? That is something that these young generations are doing now. I have heard it plenty of times. It is your fault that we're living like this. It's our fault. When America was thriving, it's thriving now. It's been thriving ever since I've been in this world. I grew up in a nice neighborhood. We didn't want for nothing. Had a nice school, had nice clothes, around nice people. But you know what? It wasn't like that for everybody. Why are they living in slums? Because they choose to. Now, when people start living in those uh, apartment housing and stuff, they should have took care of their housing. They should not have let those people come in and denigrate it and throw garbage around and selling dope. They should have made sure that everybody took care of their home. But once we sat back and start feeling sorry for ourselves, we sat up there and let the people that live there ruin it. Our homes in our neighborhood could look just as good as those rich people if we took care of our stuff. Nothing but gibberish. You have nothing to back your words on. So I don't have to. I'm not a news station. I don't have to back up nothing that I say because I already know. I've lived here long enough to know because I see things, I hear things. And I am a good person that loves everybody and wants to see everybody treated fairly. So I don't need to. And you could call it garbage all you want. And who takes care of who? You take care of yourself. It begins at home. If these parents would get the right resources to take care of themselves and take care of their children. Okay? But of course, I see these parents now, they are being controlled by the media. and by other people. And they're confused because we don't love enough. We don't love our neighbors. We don't love our parents. We don't love ourselves. And we need to start caring about people. Because if you cared about people, you would put the shopping cart back in the shopping cart holder. You would not leave it in a parking space so an elderly people comes there and they can't park there because it's a parking spot. I mean, it's a cart there. I mean, I'm talking about thinking and caring about the people that comes behind you. So we're going to stop looking at society as being unfair. We're going to start looking at society as who we are and how we live society and how we are an example of what society should be. And I know I would not recommend telling these young people what to do because some of them is so confused that they look at criticism as a direct attack. Some of them look at words, some words to them, it's like a bullet. So we should lead by example. Keep our house, our yard looking good. Walk around with a smile. Say hi. You know. And I believe in facts too. That unless you were there, facts can be manipulated. We already living in a world where we got AI, Photoshop. So that's why we have to educate ourselves, read, and get out more and see what's really going on. Go to the parks and the yards and look at the kids and see how they're interacting. Go to, we need to start going to more community meetings. The Board of Education, we need to really start getting involved and really know what's going on for ourselves. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Unless you are literally counting it yourself, numbers can lie. And we have to realize that we have people that are so brainwashed that they don't know what they believe. They'll put anything down to make it look good. You know, and when he said something like, "Oh, they just asked from the Democrats, that's why my approval is so low." People, you want to believe that? It don't matter what the numbers say. How do you feel? If you feel like he's doing a good job, that's you. And you feel like he's not doing a good job, that's you. But one thing is a fact, he's still the president. He still has that title. That's the only fact. And neighborhood goes each other. And yes, neighbors. It's some things that we can't do nothing about. But I do say, if you feel uncomfortable being in a certain neighborhood, or community, lead. That's the only thing I can say. I know a lot of people. I can't. I have no way. You find a way. I know you can because I have done it. I literally packed up my stuff and went to a town, a city that I have never been to before in my life. And I found a lot of people willing to help me get started. But the only problem is I forgot to leave my old self too. So until you get stuff straightened out in your head, are you open up for debate? Oh, sure. I would love to debate. Um, when you have neighbors and family willing to help to get you to a better level, that is what it's all about. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I didn't have no family to help me get it. Matter of fact, I was getting away from my family because they was toxic. I was brought up in a very dysfunctional home, and I moved, and I found people that strangers that helped me. Can call in, or do you have to have type in chat? Well, I don't know how to do that on here. I'm just doing live. Um, that would be nice. I would love to do that. We're gonna have to do that soon. But I'm gonna have to get off here. It was wonderful communicating, and because we need to talk about real stuff. We need to be able to talk and as individuals, not as a Democrat or independent or Republican or Muslim or Christian, or just as a person. Okay? Because I was born a person and I'm gonna die a person. Okay, I'm not like some people. I heard my mother told me I was born a Baptist, I'm gonna die a Baptist. I'm like, Mom, you weren't born a Baptist. You became a Baptist. But anyway, like I tell my kids all the time, be happy. I know sometimes it's hard to be happy. It's sad. You know what saddens me more than anything? That even being treated bad as I have been is seeing other people's treated bad. How can another human being do that to another human being? I was looking at this show called darn it, it's about King the Eighth. I mean, it was so strange that just mighty strange. People need to be happy. I agree, but Yeah, some people really hate to see others happy. Let me see. I was looking at this show about Henry VIII, and I'm like, wow, these people. It's really strange how they live. And this one that was coming out, I'm like, wow, these people are serious. They take their rulership, and you wonder how the people lived. And see, we hear a lot about how the Europeans and their dynasty live, but I want to know more about how the Africans dynasty live, because uh, they were the rulers of the world. They was the first ones, civilization, and there's not enough movies about them. Because if you look at the contrast of Europeans and Africans rulership, eh, it's really it's really something. Um, Wolf Hall, that's the name. I can't think of it. On Masterpiece on PBS. And they love that. I mean, these people. So we're dealing with is people like that before and after, and people were literally. These people were still literally standing there looking at this woman get her head cut off. False again, rule the world. Okay, well, that's your opinion. Um, you need to do some research and come back to this live. Okay. Uh, well, you can research all you want, and it's like the Bible. You can find something in that Bible to back up what you're trying to say. And I'm sure you can go back in history and find something to back up what you want to say. But um, that's the problem. A lot of people don't, especially black people, they don't listen to enough of their black scholars. Because they've been whitewashing history for the longest. And see, a lot of black people don't know about black scholars because their black parents are not telling them. When you get into politics, you got to have facts how you get chewed up and spit out. No, these politicians don't have to be smart. Most politicians are dumb as a rock. All they got to do is have charisma. All they got to do is know how to manipulate. And they in there for years. Years. Okay. And what was I saying? Yeah. And it's the same way now. You have a lot of people on here that is applauding this young man literally being stolen from his home and sent to El Salvador away from his family on account of what somebody said. Bible's the truth and always the truth. Okay. Okay. Um, I let people, they can believe whatever they want to believe about the Bible. Yeah. That's the same people that walk around with a cross around their neck and line up and down. They are literally can't walking around with something that symbolizes death, dying, tortured, um, because they're coming successful. Well, success is it can mean a lot of different things. Yeah. When that hitman go out there and kill somebody and come back, oh, it was a success. So success can mean anything. So your success is not my success. Okay. Black universities professors back it up. Oh, you know what? Don't even get me on. Don't even get me on there because we have black Trump supporters. So what black people say don't mean is right. Because you know we've always had just like in any group of people, you have people say anything for money and recognition. Oh yeah, they become successful because that's what they want. That's all they care about. They don't care about other people and how other people feel. And they don't have to. And I don't need nobody to tell me because I know for a fact. When you meet your maker, let's see who's crying then. That's your issue. When I meet my maker, whoa, whoa. I think you should be worried about when you meet your maker. Okay? Yeah, people kill me with that. Nobody knows what happens after you're dead. Okay? So that's just a cliche. That's just something that people say when they don't have nothing else to say. Thank you. Just a white boy. Uh, that's interesting because usually I don't need a whole bunch of meaning to describe what success is. Yeah, it's a successful day. It's a successful birth. Um but see some people don't know how to balance trying to be successful for money gain and be success in other things like taking care of your children, taking care of your home, taking care of your loved ones. Some people would rather work themselves to death to get money to spend money, because that's all we do. We are just a people of things. We spend our money to buy things. We would rather spend our money on things than anything else. You got somebody right now writing a check for $150,000 to join a club, so they can go and sit in this club and be around other people that spent $150,000 to join this club. And as they go to this club, they are passing people that don't have enough to eat, don't have enough Pampers, don't have a home. Now that's success. Yeah, well, yeah, the older and sicker you get, the more you realize what life is. Yes, it is. And I think as we get older, we should spend more time helping younger people that's going to be here longer than we are. Because really we living now in a place where a lot of these families don't have family. A lot of these kids don't have grandparents or mom and dad. You leave all your problems to your father. Okay. That depends on what you call problems. um, I don't let problems dictate how I feel. I mean, yeah, it's some days that it's rougher than others, but that's what you call living. As I said before, and it's a lot of things, because he's brought up this one thing about Columbus is going to start being Columbus again. What? Oh, he's everywhere. He comes up with this stuff and to act like he really doing something, which he ain't really doing nothing, because even before he was born, people really wasn't celebrating Columbus, because a lot of people know the truth. Columbus never really discovered nothing. And I read somewhere that Columbus didn't even step foot on America. He was on South America. South America was around before North America. I mean, it's that's what you call manipulation, because they keep stuff in the dark, but everything in the dark comes to light. You look nuts. Oh, you know what? I like looking different because I'm different. I know I am. So what is that on your forehead, and how does that make you successful? Where is just your for the show? Okay. Evidently, they have not seen TikTok, because you talking about some stuff to look at. Wow. And that's why I'm glad that I'm not like that. I don't talk about other people. I see stuff and I'm like, okay. I treat everybody with kindness, and I try to respect everybody, because the old saying is, what you eat don't make me shit. That's my philosophy. Okay. Uh, and we don't know what's going to happen, because I would hate to sit up there one day and talk about somebody and treating all bad and making somebody feel really bad, and then I walk out the door and hit by a car. What is the point? Why would I make somebody look bad? Why would I make somebody feel bad? That does not do anything for me. That's me, you know. And we could all be blind one day. So are you still going to say, oh, you look weird? But you can't see me. But it's just in you to have to say something bad about somebody. That's just you. And I'm glad I'm not you. Just like you're not glad you're not me. That's so what? Why don't you have enough pepper? Why don't you have enough of these items? Oh, why? Wow. Why you don't have enough Pampers? Because you run out and you have to go run to the store and get some more. People run out of stuff all the time. That's why you have grocery stores. That's why you have Walmart. That's why you have Kmart. Well, not no Kmart, because you have to go and get some more stuff. Are we pretending that it's not poor people out here? And the reason why people is poor, isn't that what it says in your Bible? You will always have the poor and you will always have the rich. And people are poor for different reasons. Yes. And people are rich for different reasons. All right, you guys, I got to go. Uh, just keep it real and stop being woke and be smart. We need more smart people in this world. Yes, we do. Thank you for joining me.